SportsTalkSC.com for immediate access. Get all of President Trump's most important events live. Imagine watching Mike Huckabee's Israel Report, our Melania documentary, Clint Eastwood, Charlie Kirk specials, even the movie Jesus of Nazareth by Franco Zeffirelli. Once you start Newsmax Plus, you won't stop. So try it for free. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com, then download the app. It's easy. So make the switch to Newsmax Plus today.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
The White House calls it
one of the best jobs reports you've ever seen.
Senior economic advisor Kevin Hassett says the creation of 130,000 jobs last month beat the expectations of almost every economist surveyed by Bloomberg.
Everything is hitting on all cylinders, and the deficit is going down because of the tariffs. And so people who were naysayers about the tariff, that we'd have low growth and high inflation. Instead, we have low inflation and high growth, great job creation, and even the Michigan survey is showing that people are feeling the positive effects.
And the build-out of electronic vehicles charging in the U.S. has not stopped since President Trump returned to office, but the administration and Congress are continuing to throw up some new roadblocks, including the administration withholding charger money to some states. On Wall Street at the closing bell, the Dow was down by 66 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy much of our overnight with skies starting to clear and daylight. The low is 36. Tomorrow, beautiful, mostly sunshine-filled skies, a comfy 63 degrees. Friday, pretty good also. A blend of sunshine, some clouds to go with a high of 59. A 20% chance for rain on Saturday and a 70% chance for showers on Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in to this Wednesday night edition of Sports Talk Media Network. Do you feel it? Do you hear it? The sound of ball meeting bat, of ball hitting glove, the sound of butts on the dirt, knee first dives into the bag, the tearing of cloth, the plays at the plate, running into the fences. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baseball it's back. And it's gonna be a glorious season in South Carolina. Starting with now, think about this. Right now, nationally, today, nationally, when baseball people, when they think of the state of South Carolina and they think of baseball, the first thing that comes to mind is Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is nationally the more recognized team in the state of South Carolina, and congratulations to them. Kudos to the Chanticleers for building it and keeping it built. And why shouldn't they be expected to win the Sun Belt, to run through a couple of regionals and get back to Omaha? They maybe play for another national championship with the pitching they've got if they stay healthy. They've successfully replaced some people, though. I mean, they're going to have a drop-off at catcher because Caden Bodine was 1 of 1. A great catcher. So, I mean, they feel good about their catching position. It's so important. That's why I think South Carolina is going to be improved, because their catching position is going to be improved simply because Talmadge LeCroy is back for another season, healthy now. You hope he can stay healthy if you're a Gamecock. That will solidify things behind the plate, something they did not have last year. And that's where your first line of defense falls apart if you don't have good catching. Ray Tanner once told me that a few years ago when he was finished coaching. He said, if you don't have a catcher, if you don't have a quality catcher, you're going to have problems. And the really good teams, using South Carolina as an example, the really good South Carolina teams, look at them, they've had really good catchers. So I think that's a common denominator among teams. So it all begins on Friday. Well, if the rain doesn't interrupt in a lot of places. It all begins on Friday. Looking forward to it. Tonight, Eric Bakich from Clemson. We heard a little bit from him last night, but we saved the good stuff for tonight. He'll be joining us live to kick off the second hour. Tomorrow we'll hear from Paul Maneri as he'll be meeting with the media to preview the Gamecocks' weekend opener against Northern Kentucky, talk more about his team. So we'll be diving headfirst into baseball. Looking forward to that. It could be, look, Coastal should be Coastal. Clemson will be right there in a position to host a regional once again, I do believe. And I think South Carolina is going to be improved. Now, that's not a very big limb to go out on to say that, because accidentally, if they just show up for every game, they should win more than 28 regular season games and more than 6 SEC games just by showing up. But because I think they're a better team overall, just looking at the players and some of the people they're bringing in. If they play, you got to have of your regular lineup. What do you have to be great? You got to have 8 of your 9. Let's see. You got to have. I'm trying to get my numbers right here. You got to have 8 of your 9. No, I would say let's don't be quite that perfect. You got to have probably 6 of your 9 in the field, or if you want to talk about lineups, including the DH, you got to have 7 of your 9 having career years. You can maybe carry a couple of guys that aren't having career years, batting average is not all that great, not hitting for power, whatever, but giving you something maybe in the field. You got to have a bunch of guys having career years together at the same time to make that move. And that's why the Clemson basketball team, I would say they've got several guys having career years all at the same time. That's why they're so good at this point going into the night's game against Virginia Tech. So baseball team, I think if you can have, we'll ask Eric Bakich, if you can have 6 or 7 guys having career years at the same time, that's got a chance to really lift you up and give you opportunity to be an excellent team and have a great season. Okay, looking forward to that tonight. And our phone number, if you'd like to join us, no Bergie tonight. He's off with Coastal Carolina basketball. They're on their way to Louisiana to play Louisiana Lafayette tomorrow night. Our phone number is, of course, 888-898-2525. Give us a call. Love to hear from you. Your thoughts, your comments. How are you feeling about the upcoming baseball season? What are your expectations for Coastal, for Clemson, and for South Carolina? 888-898-2525. That is the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. And learn more about the lottery's impact at sceducationlottery.com/education wins. Playing for fun is a win for education. Our text line number is 803-900-4847. Love to read your text messages, 803-900-4847. And the plumber, Josh Cohen, he is here as well. And he'll be keeping an eye on messages coming to us from YouTube and Facebook and places like that. All right, so that's what we're talking about tonight. And let's take a look at some of the key stories today that we can kick around. In fact, talking about baseball, Paul Maneri made it official, but he had told us this earlier. The Gamecocks weekend rotation, they'll go with Riley Goodman, Amp Phillips, and Brandon Stone. Now, that looks like a pretty solid threesome for me. And it's too bad that Jake McCoy is out for the season. But when you are able to add Alex Philpott to the mix, that'll give you 4 potential weekend starters. The midweek starters have also been named, and those guys could be used in long relief on the weekend. But these will be your horses right now. These will be your horses in the early part of the season, and we'll see how they work out. I'm really interested to see what Amp Phillips does at this level on a day-in, day-out basis. Of course, he was terrific for Upstate, and he really made a name for himself in that performance against Clemson in the regional. Now he's got to do it, start in and start out, and against SEC competition when they get there. So, Brandon Stone was fairly solid for him last year. ERA was kind of high. Of course, all their ERAs were kind of high last year, but at least he has experience at this level facing SEC teams, and he can pitch. He's had some good moments. And then Riley Goodman there, of course, he missed last year with Tommy John, but they've been very excited about him ever since they got him in the program. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes for the Gamecocks. So that is the official weekend lineup for South Carolina. 4 Gamecock football players invited to the NFL Combine. National Football League announced that today. And they are Rasul Faison, Nick Barrett, Brandon Cisse, and Jalen Kilgore. The Panthers are hiring Darrell Bevel as associate head coach and offensive specialist. He's a long-time NFL assistant, a lot of experience in working on, obviously, the offensive side, working with quarterbacks. I think he was a quarterback back in the day. Here's an interesting little note. I haven't read the story, but Jordan Kay of the State wrote a story. The headline is, of the top 35 quarterbacks in college football from the class of 2023, of the top 35 quarterbacks. Think about this, from the class of 2023, so that would be the 23, 24, 25 seasons. That's 3 seasons. Of the top 35 quarterbacks, only 5 are still with their original team. Lenore Sellers is one of those. However, he is going to be going on his 3rd different offensive coordinator in 3 years. How will that impact him? Is this his best offensive coordinator? Is Kendall Briles going to be the best? Or was Dowell Loggins really, really good, then he left to become a head coach? I think people liked what Dowell Loggins was doing. Mike Shula didn't go well there for whatever reason. So Kendall Briles, you look at his numbers and what he did with the quarterback at TCU is amazing. Amazing. So if he does that with Lenore Sellers, look out. He does that with Lenore Sellers, and Sellers is going to have a phenomenal season. But it's mind-boggling because, the way things have changed. You never had this kind of movement. Quarterbacks, when they signed with the program, they were there to be developed and maybe spend a year or 2 on the sideline, and then if you started by the time you were a junior, that was a good break. Seldom did you start as a sophomore unless you were just a super, super soft, or maybe the injury situation forced it. Rare was a case a few years ago where a true freshman would start. It was almost an automatic thing. Quarterbacks are going to be redshirted when they got to college. It was too tough. Remember, it was always too tough. The offense to transition from high school to college, the defenses, it was too fast, blah, 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 blah. All that now has been forgotten. Because if you don't use them, you lose them. That's the way it's become. If you don't use them, you lose them. So of the top 35 quarterbacks from the class of 23, only 5 are still with their original team. That is pretty interesting and pretty much an indicator of the kind of times that we're in right now. Note from Clemson, not a happy note, but an interesting note. John Poulos, the first Clemson football player, and I hope I'm saying the name right, might be Poulos, P-O-U-L-O-S, first Clemson football player to catch a touchdown pass in a bowl game. He passed away this morning in Gaffney at the age of 99. His birthday is October 13th, 1926. So he was closing in on 100. He was believed to be the oldest living former Clemson football player prior to his passing. All right. USC finished 5th in the Puerto Rico Classic. Where was that played, Plummer? The Puerto Rico Classic? Where'd they play that? What would be your best guess?
Like Guatemala, maybe?
Yeah. The Gamecocks finished at -31. -31. The winner was -56. That was Virginia. College of Charleston finished tied for 6th at -26. The Gamecocks' Frankie Harris, he won the medalist honors at 16 under with a final round of 66. That's his second win on the season. He's going to have a great year. He's a great player on the college level, great player. He's going to go on to have a great year, no doubt about it. South Carolina women's tennis, after we left the air last night, South Carolina women defeated Clemson. It was a thriller. 4-3 was the final score. The match went to a third set in the final match. South Carolina won that third set easily to clinch the victory, but it went right down to that last set, so it can't get any better than that in college tennis. So South Carolina picks up a point in the Palmetto Series. Clemson still leads it 5-2. Clemson also has a point in the men's golf competition, but they still have a couple of more rounds to play against one another that will determine that. And I think the next thing on the agenda will be the 3-game baseball series coming up the end of this month. Okay, some of the top stories of the day. You can add to all that with your phone calls at phone number 888-898-2525, and the text message line is 803-900-4847. Give us a call, send us a text, and we'll jump on that. Coming up a little bit later, Eric Bakich, Clemson baseball coach, looking forward to talking with him. We'll pin him down on his starting lineup and see what the Tigers' 9 will look like. Well, we know who the starting pitcher will be, Aiden Canuck, but we'll take a look at the other 8 and see what he has planned for that as they open a weekend series against Army. And then we're going to talk some high school baseball a little bit later on. After that, have another preview of a team playing in the Classic, and we'll be back.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400. NASCAR's best face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
If you're a new parent or grandparent, it might be tough to picture your little ones heading off to college, but it'll be here before you know it. I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 College Savings Plan, makes it easy to start saving for a child's future education right now. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com. That's futurescholar.com.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
We're with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources, and we're visiting at the brand new DNR offices at the State Farmers Market. Major, tell us more about this place.
That's right, Phil. The Department of Natural Resources has a new office located at the South Carolina Farmers Market. You can find us at 260D Epting Lane inside the Farmers Market grounds. Look for the DNR logo when you turn off of Highway 221 in West Columbia, or you can always go to the App Store on your Apple or Android device and look for Go Outdoors SC. Download the app and you can buy all of your license needs right there.
Visit GoOutdoorsSouthCarolina.com today.
My eye and a prayer in my heart. I should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to rope and ride. Wearing my 6-shooter, riding my pony on a cat and drive. Stealing a young girl's heart, just like Gene and Roy, singing those camp.
Okay, it's Sports Talk Media Network on this Wednesday night. Lines are open, 888-898-2525. If you want to join us, get on without delay. Clemson basketball coming up tonight. Tigers and Virginia Tech. Ordinarily be up there for that, but with Berge gone and Smitty on the road with Coastal Carolina women's basketball, that means we would have had to left the program in the Plumbers' hands, and we're not doing that. No. We want to have a show still to air the next day, so we wouldn't dare put you through listening to. Could you handle it, Plummer? If we were to say, Plummer, take over as the host, and I'll call in with reports at the bottom of the first half and the top of the second half. Could you handle it?
There's been times where you've disconnected from you being remote, and I've had
no, but you've gone into panic mode when that's happened.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. No. We're not doing that.
I could handle it.
No, I don't think you could. I don't think you're ready.
No, you're not ready for it.
So Clemson at 20-4, 10-1 in the ACC. Virginia Tech, 16-8, 5-6. Mike Young coming back. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet in college athletics is Mike Young. Glad to see he's having sort of bounce back year with Virginia Tech. I don't think they were all that good last year, but they'll be hard pressed right now to make the NCAA tournament. They'll have, this would be a big win for them. This would be a Q1 win for them if they could get it tonight. They do have, they have a player who was one of the better all-around players in the ACC. He's up there in several of the individual stats, like rebounding and field goal percentage, and so he could give Clemson a little bit of a problem on the inside. But I think Clemson has too many weapons, and will probably win this game if their mind is right. North Carolina dealt with the post-Duke letdown, I guess you could call it. Duke handled it okay. They went on the road and eventually pulled away from Pittsburgh last night, but North Carolina got beat. Now, Miami's a good team. Had to go down to Miami, and they're not a bad club. So no great surprise that Miami won that game, because Miami is a good team. But, North Carolina looking to build on that win over Duke from Saturday, that exciting, thrilling win at their place on Saturday, and they couldn't do it. They went and lost that game. So in Clemson's case, coming off two really good wins on the West Coast, you want to build on that. You don't want to have any sort of a letdown or a drop-off, because right now you win this game. Duke won their game last night. Clemson wins this game tonight, and it'll be for first place at Cameron Indoor on Saturday between the Tigers and the Blue Devils. Amani Hansberry is the player at Virginia Tech you got to keep an eye on. He is in the top 15 in scoring at over 15 points per game. This is in the ACC. He's the sixth leading rebounder at 8 rebounds per game. He is ninth in field goal percentage at 49%. So he's kind of the guy that you kind of got to know where he is at all times at Virginia Tech. He is their go-to guy. So how well Clemson handles him will go a long way as to how well the Tigers do in this one. Now, in Clemson's case, they are a much more balanced team. You really cannot, when you do a game plan against Clemson the way they're going right now, you really can't focus on any one player. Who do you want to take away? Because they got guys who'll come in off the bench and do good things. They'll have guys that did nothing a previous game and then come back and give you double figures the next game. So it's really hard to figure out when you're facing Clemson who to key on, because Brad Brownell's got a group that shares the basketball and is not afraid to share the basketball, wants to share the basketball. They play really, really good team basketball. They protect the basketball. They're a good rebounding team, a good overall shooting team. I mean, Clemson has having one of those years where in the ACC stats they're either at the top or no worse than like right in the middle of every major category. That's why they're at where they're at, which is tied for first in the league. So Should be a packed house tonight. I would imagine Tiger fans will turn out big, and they should have that place filled up. Justin Mathis is covering for us tonight since I couldn't get up there because I couldn't leave the show in the plumber's hands. That would be, death to the show. So he'll be joining us in the first half. A couple of times he'll join us. Well, first half and then right at halftime. Tonight also in the ACC, you've got California at Syracuse. You've got Stanford at Boston College, and you've got Wake Forest at Georgia Tech. And in the SEC tonight, after what happened last night in the SEC, Vanderbilt was a big winner at Auburn. Boy, handing off the team to your son, not always a great move. And not going well for Auburn this season as they lose at home to Vanderbilt last night. Arkansas just demolished LSU on the road last night. So big win for Arkansas, big win for Vanderbilt. Tonight, you got Florida at Georgia. Could be a good one, but Florida's been so red hot. They're so big, and they're playing really good basketball. Alabama at Ole Miss. See how Alabama reacts now after losing their big guy. Tennessee at Mississippi State. And see how Tennessee reacts after blowing that game against Kentucky. And then Missouri, which was very impressive against South Carolina. I want to see how Missouri does against Texas A&M tonight in College Station. That'll be an interesting indicator of this Missouri team. Are they really a tournament team? They go in and beat Texas A&M, you'd say, heck yeah. They just might do that. If they play like they did against South Carolina, but again, Texas A&M's a totally different opponent. They've got the size to match up with Missouri that South Carolina did not. Florida leads the SEC at 8-2 in the league. And Kentucky is 8-3. Arkansas is now 8-3. A&M is 7-3. Alabama and Missouri and Tennessee are all 6-4. And let's move Vanderbilt up after last night. Vandy's now 7-4. We'll hit the break and we'll be back.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy much of our overnight with skies starting to clear and daylight. The lowest 36. Tomorrow, beautiful, mostly sunshine-filled skies, a comfy 63 degrees. Friday, pretty good also. A blend of sunshine, some clouds to go with a high of 59. A 20% chance for rain on Saturday and a 70% chance for showers on Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Attorney General Pam Bondi took heated questions from lawmakers in a combative congressional hearing over the Justice Department's handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein that have exposed sensitive private information about victims despite redaction efforts. The Attorney General gave a wide-ranging, passionate defense of President Trump and mocked her Democratic questioners. House Republicans are rushing ahead with the SAVE Act legislation that would impose voter ID requirements ahead of the midterm elections. The bill coming to a vote on Wednesday is a Trump administration priority aimed at scrutinizing ballot access. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 66 points, the Nasdaq dropped 36, the S&P down a fraction. More details at srnnews.com.
When your pipes panic, Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning steps right in, fast and friendly. Josh and his team aren't just fixing leaks, they're restoring your peace of mind. This is when you're at your most vulnerable. You got a problem, you need a solution. They're not coming out to upsell you or talk you into something new this or new that. You'll appreciate their process. They'll tell you what needs to get done and what it'll cost before they ever even bring in their tools to start the work. They're locally owned which unfortunately is no longer the norm in the Midlands. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning will treat every home like their own. They've done work for me, for my brother, countless numbers of Point listeners. Dial 799-2222 or visit franklinplumbing.sc.com and you tell them Kev from The Point sent you. You will experience plumbing that's more than just a fix. It's a solution from people who care about their work and stand by it. When you need them, please don't panic. Just call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, 799-2222.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvement, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
When the Midlands weather puts your roof to the test, trust Shingles Now Roofing. Your local family-owned specialist, Charlie and Rodney, both GAF Master Elite contractors, pride themselves on quality repairs and replacements. Fully licensed and insured, we promise honest work at a fair price. Enjoy free inspections and estimates so you can always know where you stand. Protect your home with a team that treats you like family. Shingles Now Roofing. Shingles Now. Roof repairs right away. Visit shinglesnow.com.
We're back. Sports Talk Media Network from our studios in Columbia. Phil Kornblut and the Plumber.
The Headbanger Studios.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like that. The Plumber, Josh Cohen. Chris Bergen off tonight with Coastal Carolina. Phone number 888-898-2525. Text line number 803-900-4847. Coming up a little bit later, Eric Bakich, Clemson baseball coach, and Coach Dale Lever, the head baseball coach at Chapin High School in his first year, taking over a terrific program as the previous coach, Scott McLeod, retired. Chapin's going to be in the Classic. In fact, they won the 2025 Classic, the Chapin team. Coach Lever was an assistant at Lexington and Brooklyn Casey, and so now he's got this Chapin team. He'll be joining us bottom of the second hour. So we got that coming up. We got Eric Bakich coming up as well. Be keeping an eye on that Clemson game. Also, Clemson and Virginia Tech. Phone number 888-898-2525. Text message line 803-900-4847. I want to mention this. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Just saw this national story. Interesting. The Big 12 will become the first organization in the U.S. to use ASB Glass Floors LED courts for official competition. Both of the league's conference tournaments will be played on the glass courts. Okay. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of naysayers out there, and maybe they're right. I mean, obviously, this thing's got to be made well enough to where it's not going to break. It's not going to crack. Can it? Would it? These guys jumping up and down, banging the basketball, hitting the floor. How is your body going to react to that? So we're going to go from wood to glass. They're going to go from wood to glass. Interesting. Because, one of the beautiful things about the wood floor in basketball, when it's polished, when it's varnished, a beautiful wood floor, when it's varnished, and you're sweaty and you dive for a ball, you don't stick. You'll slide. That'll keep you from burning your knees and your legs, getting that floor burn. I mean, you'll get a certain amount of floor burn, but if you're wet, if you're sweaty, and you're on a nicely varnished hardwood floor, you're not going to stick. You're going to slide a good bit. Glass. I mean, glass, I guess you'll slide as well, but I mean, I'm sure they've tested this out. They're just not going to throw these kids out there and have them play on a glass floor that's going to break. I can't see that happening. So it's going to be an LED court, so it's going to have all kind of lights and stuff. I don't know how this helps the game. I don't know how this helps the sport. It's another, I guess, fan experience thing.
They can change out the ads in between during the breaks. If they put ads on the court, they can change it out in between. During.
Look at the plumber. Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, look at
it's
you.
Money.
Do they know that, or maybe you need to tell them?
Maybe I can do it for them.
Yeah, interesting. That's probably what it is. It's probably a way to sell more ads and change them out.
Like the boards on a hockey rink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, just somebody's computer here in the studio is gone dead. It's odd.
I do have a crappy computer. I have to admit, I do have a crappy. It's good in a lot of ways.
It's very decorative. There's camo on the back of it.
It looks like it's been run over by a truck, doesn't it? It's good in a lot of ways, It's got the zoom, the screen. You can zoom on the screen, the touch screen, and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of other modern pieces of technology. But one thing it doesn't do is not crash.
Well, you bought it from the government.
Probably. I mean, it's secondhand. It was cheap. It was used. I'll give you that. I didn't realize it had a flaw in it that would cause it to crash every so often. It'll go days, it'll go weeks on end, and it'll be fine. And then it'll come to a point where I need to do something, and it
overheats.
It stinks. It's just dead in the water. That's why we're killing time here until I can reboot it. The beautiful thing is when I reboot it, I just hit restore, and it takes me right back where I was.
I got a good text.
So it takes about 45 seconds. I'm going to read the text messages.
Well, your computer's dead. That's why I was trying to help you.
I've got it right
that.
here. I've got the text messages. 803-900-484. You're not stealing my text messages.
This one's a text that really I should read. But
all right, this is Tony from Lancaster text message, 803-900-4847. Tony from Lancaster, I want in on that wagon wheel deal. I will pay for Phil, Chris, and Tiger Bryan. Let me know when. Oh, that's right, because TB invited us to come up to Lancaster and go to the wagon wheel.
I was invited too, but I guess he's not. Gamecock Tony's not paying for me.
He said Phil, Chris, and Tiger Bryan.
Yeah, I got.
Let me read that again. Phil, Chris, and Tiger Bryan. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Here's another text. Let the plumber do the show. He wouldn't make as many mistakes. At least he would talk about the teams that are worth talking about.
Mm-hmm. Who would you talk about?
The Gators.
Oh, you know what? You just read a text from Hateful Ray.
Well, it's about me, so I'm fine reading that.
You gave Hateful Ray airtime. That's not.
He also said he gives you a hard
allowed.
time, I guess, to pull the attention off of his terrible takes.
Off of whose terrible takes?
Yours. He's saying he gives me a hard time. You give me a hard time to pull attention off of your terrible takes.
Is that what it is?
That's what.
I don't think my takes are terrible.
Hateful Ray says.
I think my takes are right on. So South Carolina had their last scrimmage of preseason baseball, and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central, who's been at every one of these, did a great job here, and he has published statistics on the Gamecocks from every scrimmage that they had in this preseason. So let's take a look at some of the numbers, as they say. Some of the numbers. Logan Sutter, he batted .181. Brandon Cromer, .235. Patrick Evans, .316. None of those hit home runs. Eric Parker, 238. Talmadge LeCroy, 500 in the preseason with 3 doubles. See what I mean? Jack Reynolds, 235. Will Craddock, 181. They're hoping he'll do better. Ethan Lozana, 250. Caleb Hoover, 125. Tyler Back, he hit 350. So far, LeCroy hit 1 home run. Will Craddock did hit 2 home runs. Bo Hollins, who just recently started batting, 250. And Aaron Jameson, 308 with 2 home runs. KJ Scobie, 200. He's going to hit better than that, obviously. No homers. Jake Randolph, 227 with a homer. Reese Moore, 211. Dawson Harmon, 313. Luke Uhas, 091, .091, 091. Gavin Braylon, 294. All right. Not exactly tearing the cover off the baseball with those averages. Maybe the pitching was really good. Let's look. Bradley Hodges, in 7 innings, had 8 strikeouts and 7 walks and 2 earned runs. Alex Valentine, 7 in the 3rd innings, had 9 strikeouts, 6 walks, no earned runs. Alex Philpott, in 2 2/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, a walk, 1 earned run. Amp Phillips, in 8 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, 5 earned runs. Patrick Dudley, 4 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a hit batter, and 2 earned runs. Elijah Foster, in 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, no earned runs. Of course, Jake McCoy, unfortunately, not available, but he went 1 1/3 innings, allowed 3 earned runs. He struck out 2, he walked 2. Josh Gunther, who could become a starter, could be the closer. He got a lot of work. 9 2/3 innings, 13 strikeouts and 2 walks, 2 earned runs. Yeah, this is a transfer from Wake Forest they're very high on. So he could be a guy at the back of the bullpen, your closer, or you might work him into the weekend rotation. Right now, though, he's apparently going to close. Zach Russell, 4 1/3 innings, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 3 earned runs. Hudson Lee, 1 inning, 0 across the board. Cullen Horowitz, 2/3 of an inning, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 3 earned runs. Logan Prisco, 2 innings, 2 2 and 0. Bryce Navarre, 3 2/3, 5 3 and 1. That would be 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 run. He also hit 2. Riley Goodman, he worked 9 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, 5 earned runs. A little high. He also hit 4. He walked 4 and he hit 4. Got to be better than that. Cooper Parks, 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. He hit 2, 1 earned run. Parker Marlott, 2 2/3, 2 strikeouts, no walks, no earned runs. Connor Ciccoli, 6 innings of work. He had 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. He allowed 2 runs. And Josh Grigori, 3 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 2 earned runs. Those are the numbers. Great job there, Jack, from Gamecock Central, putting all that together. What do we know? What does that tell you about Gamecock baseball there? Doesn't tell you anything about the defense, but gives you some idea about the pitching and the hitting here in the preseason. I would say, and of course this is a very small sample size, but I mean some of these hitters, of course, have got to do better than what they showed here. And I'm got to feel like obviously KJ Scobie's going to swing a better bat than that, and some of these others. Pitching wise, I liked a few of the things that I saw there. Maybe Amp Phillips a little high on the earned runs for him, but Brandon Stone, seeing some strikeout numbers that look impressive, to walk numbers based on the innings pitched. So seeing some good things. I mean, I think if South Carolina is going to be better, it's got to be better on the pitching side. They had a team ERA last year that was ridiculously high, and so they've got to cut that down by a couple of runs. I believe their team ERA last year, I'll go back and look at that, and I can pull that up here in a second. I believe their team ERA last year was like over 6, all right? So you're not going to win a whole lot of games with a team ERA of over 6. They got to chop a couple of runs off of that if they're going to be anywhere competitive this coming season. And I think they will. Based on what we know about these pitchers to this point, I think they will. Okay, let's hit the break. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Phone number 888-898-2525. And our text line message number is 803-900-4847. Got time for more calls and for more of your text messages as well. Eric Backich coming up after the top of the hour break. Looking forward to talking with him about the start of the baseball season for the Tigers. And, of course, we're going to talk some high school baseball as well with the new coach from over at Chapin High School coming up, Dale Lever. That'll be a little bit later.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400. NASCAR's best face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. Whether you're on the water or going hunting on land, always tell someone where you're going. Be specific and tell them when you plan to return. Plan your hunt and hunt your plan. For more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
Download the free Go Outdoors SC app from SCDNR, buy licenses, report harvests, and carry everything digitally right on your phone. Go Outdoors SC.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
If you want to reach sports fans, there's no better place than the Sports Talk Media Network. We give your business exposure on over 20 radio affiliates across South Carolina, plus online at SportsTalkSC.com and on our growing social media platforms. That means radio, digital, and social, all working together for your brand. Our audience is loyal, engaged, and they trust what they hear from us. We partner with local businesses, regional brands, and anyone who wants to connect with real sports fans. From live reads and sponsorships to digital advertising, we'll build a custom campaign to fit your goals and budget. Ready to advertise with Sports Talk Media Network? Visit sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. That's sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. Sports Talk Media Network. Advertising that reaches sports fans.
Okay, we're back. Sports Talk Media Network on this Wednesday night. Glad to have you with us. Wherever you're dialed in across the state of South Carolina, phone number 888-898-2525. Feel free to give us a call if you'd like to join us. Coming up after the top of the hour, Coach Eric Backich from Clemson, talking about the Tiger baseball team for this coming season. Looking forward to having him with us here on the program. And let's see, what else did I want to pass along here to you? The head coaches for the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl for this year, for the 2025 season, they were announced just recently. And I wanted to make sure we mentioned those because we hadn't mentioned those yet. So congrats to these coaches who will be coaching in the Touchstone Energy Bowl game. The head coach of the North team will be Greg Porter out of Lawrence, and he'll be assisted by the 5A coach, Andre Wilcock from Eastside, the 4A coach, Jason Tone from TL Hanna, the 3A coach, Andrew Chisholm from Berea, the 2A coach, Sheldon Evans from Crescent, the 1A coach, Rodney Barr from C.A. Johnson, 2 other assistants, Jonathan Rollins from Landrum, and Mike Armstrong, Mike Armstrong from Gray Collegiate. Yes, sir. All right. The South team, the head coach, Kelvin Roller from Dillon. He's a 2A. So the 1A assistant will be Marcus Livingston from Edisto. Yes, sir. The 5A assistant will be Ian Rafferty from Somerville. The 4A assistant coach, Jarvis Littlejohn from Lugoff Elgin. 3A coach assistant will be Lewis Clyburn from Brooklyn Casey. All right, let me back this up. I gave the wrong head coach. The head coach is Darrell King from Lakeview, so I apologize. Let's do that again. The head coach is Darrell King. So we got 2 coaches from Dillon County. The head coach will be Darrell King from Lakeview, and Kelvin Roller will be the assistant coach from the 2A ranks out of Dillon. So again, head coach is Darrell King. 5A, Ian Rafferty. 4A coach is Jarvis Littlejohn. The 3A coach is Lewis Clyburn. Coach Roller from 2A and Marcus Livingston from 1A. 2 other assistants, Calvin McCroy out of Camden and Ryan McDonald from North Central. So those are the Touchstone Energy Bowl coaches for this year's game. It'll be here before you know it. December will be wore out and ready to move on to something else. But right now we can't wait for football to get back here. By the way, next week, towards the end of the week, it'll be the Coaches Clinic in Myrtle Beach beginning on Friday. Of course, we'll be there for that and have some stuff for you from the event on Friday in Myrtle Beach. Always enjoy being down there and listening to the coaches and watching them, watching other coaches, and watching them talk with other coaches. And they clinic, as they say. Clinic becomes a verb. They clinic throughout the hotel, always talking football, X's and O's, and equipment, and everything needed to improve a football program. It's a great weekend, and South Carolina Football Coaches Association does a terrific job putting that on every year, and they will have college coaches there as well, certainly from South Carolina and Clemson and other teams around the area. All right, let's go to Hank in Columbia. Hit up a phone call here before the top of the hour. Hank, welcome into Sports Talk. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Corn. Just calling in, you're talking about the LED floor. Those things have already been used already. The in-season, the NBA has used them in their in-season tournament that they run. And that's why when you look at it, you see the floor changing colors, and sometimes it changed logos. You know, that it was one time it looked like one team's floor and it looked like the other. And then also they used it in some of the USA basketball tournaments. So it's a glass floor, LED floor, but it's got some type of, it's some type of material they make it out of that makes it decent for the athletes. But it's already been used before other places.
I didn't realize that. Have they had any problems with it, like maybe the lights causing a problem or the floor cracking or anything like that?
No, it kind of confuses when you watch on TV because you'll see, the floor looks different colors or whatever. The players, they're not with the different lines and stuff that they have on it. But you can actually come out of halftime and the floor designs different, but the lines for play and free throw line and all that still look the same.
So that's interesting. How about obviously if it's been used and been used at high levels, They don't find there's any difference to the way the ball reacts. The ball bounces fine. The basketball player is used to the ball bouncing back up a certain way off a wood floor. They can tell the difference if a piece of a plank on a wood floor is dead. You know, the real good ball handlers, they can feel the difference. So I guess they're not feeling any difference when they bounce a ball off this glass floor.
No, I didn't seem that way during the NBA little in-season tournament championship thing, and when USA basketball stuff, it didn't seem that way either.
Okay. Well, I wonder if more teams are going to go to this in the future around the country.
That's it's expensive now, so I don't think that people are just going to be doing that just to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, Thank you, Hank. Appreciate that. I wasn't aware it had been widely used to this point. So the Big 12, the Big 12 is the conference that's going to start using that for their men's and women's tournament. So see how that works out for them. Sounds like it's going to be just fine, but it's another way, I guess, to create revenue streams for leagues and teams. It seems like now we're at that point in this day and age of college athletics that all they can think about is a way to make more money.
They also use it to show analytics during television breaks.
So. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with making more money, but it's like these people, they never stop. Everything they think about now is, they're trying to catch up with the professional leagues and what they do to make money with the patches on the jerseys and everything else. Hey, you know what? NASCAR was way ahead of everybody when it came to this stuff. People used to laugh at NASCAR as a bunch of country yokels. Professional leagues now are just catching up, and colleges are just now catching up on things that NASCAR has been doing for decades with the uniform patches and all the signage at their facilities and everything else. That was a normally accepted way of life around NASCAR, and now you're seeing everybody else doing the same thing. Okay, Eric Bakich coming up after the break.
WQXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A Russian drone attack against Kharkiv has killed several members of a family. Correspondent Karen Shamas reports.
Rescuers scrambled to find survivors after the attack destroyed the house and trapped the family under rubble. Ukrainian officials said Wednesday that the family's pregnant mother was wounded but survived. The drone was identified as a Russian-made Geran-2. Ukraine's Air Force reported that Russia launched 129 long-range drones at Ukraine overnight into Wednesday. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian drone attack caused a fire at an industrial plant in the Russian city of Volgograd, causing 8 Russian airports to suspend flights, according to officials. I'm Karen Shamas.
House lawmakers have rejected President Trump's bid to prevent Congress from challenging his tariffs. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
3 Republicans voted with Democrats in favor of being able to debate tariffs. It was a setback for the Trump White House, which had lobbied GOP lawmakers. Democrats have introduced resolutions to end the president's tariffs on several countries, and Tuesday's vote allows them to move forward. Punchbowl News reports that Speaker Mike Johnson said, "This is life with a small majority." Greg Clugston, the White House.
Attorney General Pam Bondi took heated questions from lawmakers in a combative congressional hearing over the Justice Department's handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein that have exposed sensitive private information about victims despite redaction efforts. The Attorney General gave a wide-ranging, passionate defense of President Donald Trump and mocked her Democratic questioners. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 66 points, the Nasdaq dropped 36, the S&P 500 down a fraction, oil up $1 to $64.96 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax? I like it too.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
It's true. Millions of Americans agree with President Trump, and they're switching to Newsmax. They're watching great shows with Greta, Carl Higbie, Rob Schmidt, Finnerty, and more. If you're tired of big media, start watching Newsmax. It's free to start. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com for immediate access. Get all of President Trump's most important events live. Imagine watching Mike Huckabee's Israel Report, our Melania documentary, Clint Eastwood, Charlie Kirk specials, even the movie Jesus of Nazareth by Franco Zeffirelli. Once you start Newsmax Plus, you won't stop. So try it for free. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com, then download the app. It's easy. So make the switch to Newsmax Plus today.
Atrial fibrillation is becoming more common, but doctors say treatments are vastly improving.
Better known as AFib, the condition is a quivering or irregular heartbeat that can lead to blood clots, stroke, and heart failure. Smartwatches and other devices are helping with the diagnosis. Causes include genetics, high blood pressure, and stress. Treatments range from medications to several new procedures that show great promise. Experts recommend a healthy lifestyle to lower the risk. Jason Walker reporting.
Maine's Republican Senator Susan Collins has announced her re-election bid, entering a closely watched race that Democrats have targeted in their efforts to retake the Senate majority in Congress in this year's midterm elections. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy much of our overnight with skies starting to clear and daylight. The lowest 36. Tomorrow, beautiful, mostly sunshine-filled skies, a comfy 63 degrees. Friday, pretty good also. A blend of sunshine, some clouds to go with a high of 59. A 20% chance for rain on Saturday and a 70% chance for showers on Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
All right, we're back on Sports Talk Media Network on this Wednesday night. Great to have you with us. Coming up, we'll have recruiting for you. We're going to visit with the coach from Chapin High School about the big Classic tournament down in Georgetown coming up in early March. Best high school baseball tournament around. Tell you at Daytona today, they had practice before tonight's qualifying. Austin Centric, 187.402. Ross Chastain, 186.931. Were they running Pintos out there? Where's the speed? Where's the 200 plus? 198, 199. Come on. Corey LaJoie, 186.517. Wonder what Coach Eric Bakich, what kind of lap he would turn in a NASCAR car at Daytona. Let's ask him as we talk some Clemson baseball. Tigers about to crank open another can of whoop. He hopes as he goes into the 2026 season, looking to take the Tigers to Omaha. But that's a long way down the road and a lot of work to be done between now and then. Let's welcome in Coach Bakich to Sports Talk. Welcome in, sir. How are you?
Hey, Phil, how you doing? Appreciate you guys having me as always. And if I was driving that NASCAR car, I would just be flooring it all the time. No brakes, all gas.
You don't want a restrictor plate on there either, do you?
Nope, take that governor off. We're
There
gonna
you go.
floor it from the jump. Yep.
215, 220. Those were the good days. Except, of course, when they took off and flew into the grandstands. Don't want that to happen. So, all right. So let's talk about this team going into this upcoming weekend season opener against Army. Your feelings after going through a long fall camp and a camp here in January, February, and now you're ready to rock and roll. How would you gauge your satisfaction with where your team is?
I guess neutral, indifferent. You know, I don't really have any emotion attached to it right now. I'm excited that the season is starting, but I just more keeping it more centered and actually more looking forward to all the growth opportunities throughout the season and getting the knockdown and getting back up type stuff that actually is what strengthens and defines a team. But no, I'm excited for our guys because it's a lot of preparation going in, and they finally get to move really into this execution phase that we've been talking about. So we'll see. That's kind of our approach that we've been taking. Go out and prove it. So I don't have my pom poms out this year, and we're just gonna be as methodical as we can and go out and execute.
Is this a different approach? I mean, for years at Clemson, it's always been Omaha or bust, so to speak. And I know last year was a disappointment with a home regional and not advancing out of that. And is this sort of a different approach that you're taking from a mental standpoint to not be maybe thinking so much about Omaha, but maybe just the day-to-day chores and take care of your business that day?
Well, I just think it's learning more about achieving goals, and the more you stare at an outcome-based goal, the less likely it is to achieve it, and that's anything in life, and you just got to turn your target. You should have long-term goals. You should write them down. That definitely improves your chances of achieving them, but if you just keep focusing on outcomes, then they're less likely to happen. Instead, you got to focus on the how that describes how you're going to make those things happen, and that's what being process-oriented is about. So, just seeing Coach Signetti and the Indiana team go about their business and, other successful coaches that, have really drilled down on that approach of, really, really explaining how to get better each day. That's more where I'm at. And, yeah, sure, Omaha's the destination, not even the destination. It's, nobody wants to just participate. Everybody wants to win the whole thing, but staring at that and thinking about things that happen in June are counterintuitive. It just makes it less likely to happen. So we haven't really given it many mental calories. Of course, it's our long-term goal, but we're more focused on the day-to-day.
Mm-hmm. You've got some guys returning, a good nucleus to build around with this team, starting with Aiden Canuck on the mound. How has he looked to you in preseason? What kind of year would you forecast for him based on what you've seen?
He's improved. He's gotten better. He's he took the fall. We didn't throw him in the fall. We wanted him more to build his body and work on his craft, and he was able to do that. And it wasn't really about evaluation for him. So he's been ramping back up. He's on a slow ramp though. We're not going to pitch him. We're not going to extend him very much in the non-conference. We're going to, he'll be on a very strict pitch count, not because he can't throw 6 innings, but we just don't want him to. Mm-hmm. And so, but he looks good, and he'll be out there for however many pitches he'll be out there. But, more excited about building him to make a surge late versus make a surge early.
Who will be the rest of your weekend starters for this first weekend? You already said that Canuck will start the Friday game. What's your plans after him?
We actually haven't announced our rotation. I think you said he was starting Friday. I just agreed with yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm just going with what stands to reason he would be your starter, but maybe not. Go ahead. I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
I think it's a good idea. So we'll go with your idea of pitching Canuck on Friday.
All right.
Yeah, so Drew Titsworth is out this weekend. He's still nursing a minor pec armpit strain, but he'll be back for week 2, so he would have been a candidate as a weekend starter. Talon Bell, we've had the flu go through the team, so he's out with the flu right now, so we'll see if he can make a very short start this weekend. But right now it's Canuck, TBA, and I think by tomorrow we'll have a number 2 starter. Michael Sharman certainly looks like a great candidate, left-handed transfer from Tennessee. He's really a great command, left-hander, pitches on both sides of the plate, 4 pitches. So he'd be a great candidate, just an older guy with experience, been around the block, and trust, that he's going to go out there and pound the zone. So he probably gets the nod right now, but we haven't announced that yet.
All right, we'll look for that announcement tomorrow. You're looking at McGovern to be your closer at this particular point, considering his experience from last year. Is that who you're looking at?
No, McGovern's out right now. He's got an arm strain, and we're getting it looked at, and we'll kind of see what the severity is. But he's out this weekend. Titsworth is out this weekend. Colin Priest is out this weekend. One of our freshman arms is out this weekend. But McGovern's a guy that's also a proven guy and been in the battles with us, but he'll be out. It may be longer, but we'll see. We'll see what it is and what the prognosis is. But he's not going to pitch this weekend.
So who would you turn to in a closing situation?
Good question. Joe Allen's got credentials. We brought in Hayden Simerson. We got a lot of talented freshmen. I think, given the fact that we're not going to be extending anyone, we would be going to some of our, more of the guys that we have utilized in the past, or maybe even some of these freshman arms that are coming in that look to be very talented. That everybody's going to go 1 to 3 innings this weekend. So probably these first couple weeks, Phil, if I'm being honest, if it's not Joe Allen, just because he's a senior who's been around the block in your traditional. Or Hayden Simerson, who's done it at another school. We're probably using a few guys in those high-leverage situations and just figuring it out as we go these first few weeks.
Am I reading? I'm sensing with McGovern. Am I reading too much into your voice there? I mean, are you concerned about him for a lengthy absence here, or how are you feeling there?
Yeah, I mean, I am for sure. I mean, I know Titsworth will be back on week 2, and I don't know when McGovern is going to be back. So it's one of those things where we have to evaluate what the best course of action is. But it does not look like his return is going to be any time in the month of February. So we'll see what the docs say and see how it all gets evaluated. But yeah, it's a big loss because he's an interesting guy. He's a different look. He's a unique lefty that just has also proven himself to be super valuable out of the bullpen. So we hate to lose him for any period of time, let alone an extended one. But I don't know a timetable right now, and that's not even coach speak. I really don't know.
Sure. Visiting with Eric Bakich, Clemson baseball coach here on Sports Talk. Can you take us around your lineup, your starting lineup, catcher, first, second, and so forth through your starting lineup?
Yeah, I can give you an idea. I mean, we haven't gone over the roles with the players. We're going to do that tomorrow, but Jacob Jarrell and Nate Savoy will do the majority of the catching. Tristan McClatty and Jason Foltz will handle third base. Tyler Lichtenberger and Jaron Purify will be our middle infield. Luke Gaffney at first base. The outfield, we've got Jack Crichton and Nate Savoy, both are in left. Bryce Clavon and Tristan McClatty both play center. Ty Dowley in right. And then, one of those guys would be a great candidate to DH as well, especially with Priest out. So it's and then we got some depth guys behind them. A two-way freshman in Dylan Harrison that's a good candidate as a DH / midweek starter / long reliever. but yeah, I mean, we feel good about the offense, and like the combination of speed power. Feel like we've got a good dynamic combo of some speed at the top and the bottom, and some thumpers in the middle.
Lichtenberger is an interesting acquisition for you guys through the free agent market. I call them free agents. Tyler Lichtenberger from Appalachian State. I mean, he was great in the Southern Conference last year. What have you seen from him in camp? What do you like about him?
I like a lot of things, actually. We got him because of his defense. I mean, shortstop is a defense-first position and offense bonus, and he is just a tremendous guy that can really secure the baseball. I mean, you need ball security at shortstop, and he does that very well. It's a very dynamic combination with him and Purify up the middle. And so then, he that was like number one, but he also, he put up some really good offensive numbers at Appalachian State, and left-handed hitter with speed and some thump in his bat, and we saw that, especially when we played the Bananas in Alabama. He looked very good, and he's continued to look good in the preseason. So he's a bat that may start out the year more towards the bottom of the order, but I could easily envision him moving closer to the top when it's all said and done.
And a guy you talked about yesterday when you met with the media, Ty Daly, home run hitter. 6'3", 210, coming from Mercer. Are you seeing the pop in the bat that you expected when you signed him?
Yep, Ty is as advertised. He's a true slugger, and he's a good hitter too. He doesn't just hit homers, and he hits doubles, and he goes to all fields, and he's a good baseball player. He can run it down in right field. He's got a good arm. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that he was not drafted in the top 20 rounds last year, especially, being the all-time home run leader at Mercer and the returning Division I leader in home runs now as a senior. So he's proven himself at the Division I level, and he'll have another proving ground with a higher level in the ACC.
All right, silly question. You got three guys on your roster with uniform numbers in the 90s, at least on this roster, 93, 96, 99. I mean, was that by their choice, or you ran out of numbers? What's the deal?
I thought that maybe they thought they were signing up to play O-line. I don't know. I'm not sure what the they coincidentally all picked those numbers, asked if they were available, and I said, yeah, sure. Yeah, we have not issued those in the past, so no problem.
I found that interesting. You go from 49 to Deion Brown at 93, Talon Bell at 96, and Savoy at 99. So, and Savoy's from Newport Beach, California, Loyola Marymount. That's Aaron Judge territory. Did he pick 99 because of Judge?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he picked 99 because of Judge, but that was the number he asked if it was available. And Colin Priest was 99 last year, but Colin Priest really wanted 13, and with B.J. Bailey getting an extra year at Tampa and moving on down to the University of Tampa, Colin scooped number 13 back up, which opened up 99 for Nate Savoy. So maybe it is Judge territory.
Yeah. All right, finally.
And if he hits like Judge, he can wear any number he wants, right?
He can go shirtless as far as you're concerned. All right, last thing, Purify. What are you expecting out of him this year, considering how good he was last year? What do you see from him this season?
Leader, catalyst, spark plug, energy giver, captain, the guy who makes us go, sets the table, and helps create the run-scoring offense we want to be, and helps lead that run prevention unit we want to have on defense. He's the total package, and kind of that perfect guy that embodies everything culturally that we're trying to build.
Pleasure having you with us again tonight here on Sports Talk. Looking forward to a terrific season for you guys. We'll be talking to you as often as we can, and seeing you when we can, and thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir, Phil. Appreciate you having me as always.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Eric Bakich, baseball coach at Clemson. Tigers open up this weekend at home at DKS Club DKS. It'll be rocking. He wants it. He wants it rocking and rolling, of course. And I'm sure they'll pack the place. Army coming to town. They're going to do a lot of things related to the military throughout the weekend, honoring the military. So should be a good start to the season for Clemson, but got to be a little concerned about that news regarding McGovern because he would be the guy, I would imagine, be counted on to be the closer if healthy. Okay, we'll hit the break, and we'll be back in a moment.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player. One who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Just like in college basketball today, sometimes it's about who you bring in off the bench to provide that extra spark. At StraightUpSports.net, we're excited to announce the addition of Brett Friedlander, a longtime ACC insider columnist, to our all-star lineup that includes Bob Gillespie, Scott Kiefer, Mark Sturgis, and more. At StraightUpSports.net, it's always about the stories. Check out this all-star lineup at StraightUpSports.net or at Straight Up Sports on Facebook.
Make your plans now to get to the coast for the Palmetto State's premier baseball showcase, The Classic, March 5th through 8th at Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown. Now in its 36th year, The Classic features the best high school players and teams from across South Carolina. Don't miss your chance to see the state's top Major League Baseball prospects and title contenders at The Classic, presented by Coastal Chevrolet Cadillac Nissan. There'll be games and contests, including a home run derby throughout the weekend. Visit theclassicgtown.com for tickets and more information. The Classic, showcasing South Carolina's finest in high school baseball, March 5th through the 8th in the state's best ballpark, Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown.
Play ball! Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III, heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work, and it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Give me the siren. Need the siren. Production screw up. That counts. That's a fault. That's an error.
It's not a factual error.
I need the salt. Well, the fact is you screwed up. So I need the siren
more than anybody.
I need the siren. Give me the siren.
I'm not getting the siren.
Okay, well that's $1. Put it on the list.
I'm not putting it on the list. You do so many typos. You misspell people's names, missay people's names. It's if you want to put $1 for everyone, I'll pay you $1. If you want to make that deal.
That's what we're doing. Every time I make a factual error, it's $1.
Well, every time I make a factual error, it's $1 as well. But I don't make factual errors.
But you made a production error, so that's $1.
That's
I make the rules. See, this is one thing you got to learn.
Well, you don't have access to my bank account,
and I make the rules.
You don't have access.
So
to
that's
the bank
$1.
account.
So
no
put
bank
it
account
down.
access for you.
Oh,
so.
actually, I do.
Oh, do you?
Yes, actually, I do.
The IRS,
because I think I replenish your bank account.
No, you add to it. You don't have access to it. You just.
All right, you owe it $1. That's the bottom line. You owe $1. Thanks to Eric Backett for being with us tonight. Let's get to the recruiting report here on Sports Talk, brought to you by Seawells. What's up at Seawells tomorrow?
They're closed tomorrow, so I'm not sure what's up. I'm not invited, but on Friday, Southern Fried Chicken, grilled boom boom shrimp, sliced beef brisket, and pulled pork with collard green egg rolls.
Sounds like a winner. Make sure you get over to Seawells every day when they're open, Tuesday through Friday for the daily luncheon buffet. And you got that special event, a wedding reception, a birthday party, a corporate outing, an awards banquet, maybe a business luncheon, and you want the best in the catering business, excellent food and service for nearly 80 years at Seawells. Give them a phone call. Let them handle your event and make it all the more special. 803-771-7385 online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. South Carolina, one of those making that short list with defensive end Rashad Streets, 6'3", 240 out of Raleigh. The Gamecocks make his final six. Clemson did not. Both had been involved with them heavily. Oregon, Ohio State, Florida State, Alabama, and NC State, the others to make the list. Streets told us last night that what's won out for those schools that he chose, the overall plan that they went over with him, and his relationship played a big part with all those schools. He said all the schools that made his top six have been recruiting him heavily. They've been real consistent. They've shown that they're serious, and they gave him a plan of what their vision is. It helped South Carolina that he had a prior relationship with Deion Barnes when Barnes was at Penn State, so they knew each other. He recruited him at Penn State, and so he has stayed in contact. That transition did not hurt South Carolina at all, going from Sterling Lucas to Deion Barnes when it comes to Streets. And so he already liked him as a coach, he said, and when he moved on to South Carolina, he thought that was a better situation. So they have stayed tuned in and locked in, as he put it. And so Barnes has talked a lot to him about how he can develop him based on the players he's developed for the NFL. These finalists will get the spring visits and the official visits later on. No date has been set for any of those visits at this point. Also, no timeline on a decision and no leader out of those six. In his last two seasons, 41 sacks and 75 tackles for loss. South Carolina offered wide receiver Torian Rollins, 6 feet 175. Sandy Springs, Georgia, 56 catches, 1,134 yards, and 13 touchdowns last season. USC offered wide receiver Keyshawn Bowman, 6'1", 170, of Brentwood, Tennessee. South Carolina offered wide receiver Julian Caldwell, 6'1", 180, Argyle, Texas, had 94 catches, 1,737 yards, and 20 touchdowns. USC offered wide receiver Kyron Caldwell, 6'2", 180, Lake City, Florida, offensive lineman Condreas Jones of Loganville, Georgia, 6'5", 290, and offensive lineman Timmy Alou, 6'5", 290, of Locust Grove, Georgia. Be right back.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy much of our overnight with skies starting to clear and daylight. The lowest 36. Tomorrow, beautiful, mostly sunshine-filled skies, a comfy 63 degrees. Friday, pretty good also. A blend of sunshine, some clouds to go with a high of 59. A 20% chance for rain on Saturday and a 70% chance for showers on Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
This week only, it's the Valentine's Day sale at Palmetto State Armory. Stop in today and shop our wide selection of firearms, ammo, clothing, outdoor equipment, and more. Find great deals on items like AR Upper as low as $189.99 or complete ARs as low as $419.99. Looking to start your next AR build? Find lower build kits as low as $79.99. The savings don't end there. Stop in today and shop all these great Valentine's Day deals and more at Palmetto State Armory, 3760 Fernandina Road, Columbia.
Information about with SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The search intensifies for missing Nancy Guthrie as FBI agents comb through rugged desert terrain and canvass a Tucson area neighborhood. Hundreds of investigators are assigned to the case, which has captured national attention since the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie disappeared. Authorities say they believe she was taken against her will after last being seen at her home January 31st. Attorney General Pam Bondi took heated questions from lawmakers in a combative congressional hearing over the Justice Department's handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein that have exposed sensitive private information about victims despite redaction efforts. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 66 points, the Nasdaq dropped 36, the S&P down a fraction. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of that sinking feeling when the electric bill arrives? Does the phrase peak hours trigger anxiety and a headache? Do you suffer from chronic fatigue of watching your hard-earned money evaporate right into the power grid? You may be suffering from utility pain and anxiety disorder, or UPAD. Symptoms include sweating when running the AC, a fear of turning on lights, and a general feeling of powerlessness over your energy costs.
It's time for you to try Solarist from Ken at Broker Solar. Broker Solar isn't a temporary fix, but a lasting solution with cutting-edge solar technology designed to address high energy bills at their source. Many clients have experienced immediate relief from high monthly payments with reports of increased home value and greater financial freedom. Imagine a brighter future for your home and your wallet. Side effects include the freedom to use your appliances when you want and a powerful sense of energy independence. Broker Solar, a brighter outlook for your home and wallet. Call us now, 803-807-7417. That's 807-7417 or online at brokersolar.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meeting Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meeting Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
When it rains, it sometimes pours. Is your chimney leaking? This is Drew from Chimspector. We can fix it. We'll find the leak and solve the problem. When a leak occurs, it can cause damage inside your chimney system that can create hidden hazards. Maybe you haven't used your fireplace in years and you're scared to try it. Let us come out and take a look. You'll be enjoying the crackling sounds of a fire before you know it. We're local, fully insured, industry certified, and we care. Online at chimspector.com or give us a call at 803-859-5858. That's 803-859-5858.
Tired of floors that go squeak, squeak, squeak? Are your carpets more vintage avocado green than modern chic? Ooh, rough. You really need to call Floor Boys. Floor Boys is ready to rescue your home from the tyranny of terrible flooring. We're talking gleaming hardwood so shiny you could check your reflection, luxury vinyl that laughs at spilled juice, and carpet that feels like walking on a cloud made of cute little kittens. Forget affordable. At Floor Boys, we'll make things affordable. So either shimmy on down to Floor Boys in Lexington to visit our showroom or visit us online, floorboys.com.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
All right, just a moment. Justin Mathis will join us from Little John. A couple of final recruiting notes to wrap things up I didn't get to before the break. Clemson target wide receiver DJ Huggins of Kennesaw, Georgia, set an official visit to Georgia for June 5th. Scheduled to be at Clemson Junior Day, March 7th. Wide receiver Amir Patterson of Ridgeland and Bluffton High was offered by LSU. And Woodruff running back Aiden Gibson was offered by South Florida. Okay, let's welcome in, up at Clemson, watching a very good game tonight between the Tigers and Virginia Tech. This has been maybe a little bit tighter than what we expected out of this one. Let's go to Justin Mathis, who's covering the game for us tonight up at Little John Coliseum. Welcome in, Justin. How are you?
I'm good, Phil. How about you and the plumber? How are y'all doing?
We're doing just fine. 30-29, Clemson with a skinny 1-point lead. Back and forth here. Tigers are shooting it well, but so is Virginia Tech.
and make that a 2-point lead as Ace Buckner just converted the 3-point play out of the under 4 timeout. So, it's been the Ace Buckner and Nick Davidson show. Ace has 10 points off the bench now for the Tigers out of their 31. But Phil, for some reason coming into this game, I'm not shocked by this from Virginia Tech. Maybe it's because me growing up in Spartanburg, I watched a lot of Mike Young teams play, and they always had that mentality where they were scrap and fight with no matter who they were playing against. So, but the Tech, it seems like every time Clemson's had a response, Virginia Tech's had an answer. So let's see how the script is flipped a little bit late in this first half.
Well, Clemson's done a pretty good job on Tech's best player, Hansberry, thus far. He's only got 2 points, a couple of rebounds, so they're paying good attention to him. But a couple of other guys, Lawal and Bedford, have 8 each. What is Tech doing offensively to spring those guys loose?
They've been, a typical Mike Young team. They screen very well to get some guys free, and they've been able to make Clemson's defense collapse and found a backdoor cut over the top a couple of times, including just now on a little basket there by Bedford to put him at 10 points, plus a foul for a 3-point opportunity. So just as I was explaining that just unfolded. So.
31-31, 2:47 to go. Clemson at 61%, Virginia Tech at 57%, and the officials, they're letting them play. Only 3 fouls called on each team thus far. I hope I'm not jinxing things. Are they playing that clean on defense, or are the officials just letting them play?
I feel like there was a play a couple of moments ago where Brad Brownell was letting Ron Groover have it a little bit, where Ace Buckner was trying to set up for a charge between the free throw line and the restricted circle, and they let Bedford go in, hit the shot, and Brownell was kind of like begging for a charge call, but there was nothing called, and they just let him play on. But that was right before Buckner came down and hit the shot right before the under 4.
All right.
But for the most part, it's been pretty clean.
32-31, Hokies on top. This is a game Clemson. You want to win this one if you're Clemson. You want to win every one of them, but, you'd like to win this one and go to Durham on Saturday with first place on the line. So they need to play a little bit better. It's now 34-31. Virginia Tech has Bedford has scored again. He's up to 13, so we're going to let you get back to the games. You can watch this thing, and then you'll give us a quick holler before we sign off.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Justin Mathis up there at Clemson. 58% shooting by Virginia Tech and 56% shooting by Clemson thus far. Updating some other basketball. Boy, Western Carolina just taking it to the Citadel, 82-44, late in the second half there. Samford 38, Wofford 29. That is late in the first half. Furman leading Mercer 26-20. That's late in the first half. It is Florida all over Georgia, 36-21, 2:38 to go in the half there. Iowa is leading Maryland 51-50. Boy, I tell you what, you think Buzz Williams had wished he'd have stayed at Texas A&M? Maryland is 9-14 and 2-10 in the Big Ten, trailing at home 51-50. Southern Cal leading Ohio State 43-40. Back in the ACC, Cal is leading Syracuse 33-31. And back to the SoCon, East Tennessee over Chattanooga 23-18. Greensboro leading VMI 36-18. Back to the SEC, Ole Miss with a 22-20 lead on Alabama. And that is nearing the halftime point there. Okay, up to date in basketball, keeping an eye on that Clemson game. Going to hit the break. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school baseball, as we've done for the past several weeks. Coach Del Lever from Chapin is going to join us, talk about the Chapin Eagles. His first year as the head coach there. The team that he's inheriting, the team that he's putting together, the team he will take to the Classic in Georgetown. That's coming up in a moment here on Sports Talk.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvements, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. That's the sound of a big hit on you and your car or truck. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years, helping people who get injured in car wrecks and truck wrecks. If you have serious injuries, call Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or email me at jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. That's CORBETT. I don't get paid unless I recover for you. Jim Corbett Attorney, for your best recovery from a big hit, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia. If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe. If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia. We're serious about saving you money.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today, in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Just like in college basketball today, sometimes it's about who you bring in off the bench to provide that extra spark. At StraightUpSports.net, we're excited to announce the addition of Brett Friedlander, a longtime ACC insider columnist, to our all-star lineup that includes Bob Gillespie, Scott Kiefer, Mark Sturgis, and more. At StraightUpSports.net, it's always about the stories. Check out this all-star lineup at StraightUpSports.net or at Straight Up Sports on Facebook.
All right, at the break, give you an update from Little John. At the break, Virginia Tech holds a 40-33 lead on Clemson. Boy, Hokies shooting 59%, pulled away down the stretch. They're up 7 on the Tigers. We'll see what Clemson can do to fix that in the second half. Let's turn our attention now to high school baseball, as we've been doing here for several weeks on Sports Talk, looking ahead to the big tournament in Georgetown, the Classic. One of the teams that will be there will be the defending champion, the Chapin Eagles, with a new head coach in Coach Del Lever. And he joins us now here on Sports Talk. And good evening, Coach. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on taking over an outstanding program over at Chapin. How's it gone for you so far? How's the transition been?
I appreciate that. It's been great. You know, we got a great program full of tradition. Coach McLeod and Coach Shino, they've done a tremendous job, obviously, for a number of years. So it's been quite an honor, and I'm truly blessed to follow behind in their footsteps to try to continue building and winning some ball games.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they left behind some good players for you. The cupboard wasn't bare when you got there.
Oh, no, not at all. The talent there's rich. Our area just across the board in the Midlands is just such a baseball hotbed, man. And they obviously Coach Shino with his, you know, his pitching expertise. These guys, they can really pitch. So on the mound, we should be pretty solid, and then with the defense behind them, if we can score a few runs, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, how good is your pitching overall, would you say? How many quality starters will you have going into the season?
You know, that's a great question. You always hear you can never have too much pitching, and we've got guys that we feel we've got between 8 to 10 guys that we feel like any given night can go out there and throw some quality innings and get some very big outs. So our pitching staff's pretty deep.
Offensively, what kind of punch will you have in your lineup?
Our top four, in no particular order right offhand, with Charlie Todd, Weston Plotner, Felix Ruiz, and Caden Harris. That gives us some speed and some thump. And then if we can manufacture on the tail end, I think offensively, I don't know that we're going to outslug people, but I think we're going to be able to do some things on the bases and generate offense and do a little manufacturing when we got to. So I think top down our offense, I don't know that we really have a calling card as far as power or whatever. I think we're just well-rounded 1 through 9.
You mentioned Ruiz, Felix Ruiz, committed to Florence Darlington Tech. You have Griff Harper committed to Anderson. Drew Greer committed to USC Lancaster. And then Mac Berry committed to Air Force. And great story here. His granddad is Al Berry, who won the first IP Classic as the head coach at Lancaster. We all know Coach Berry is one of the great baseball coaches ever in South Carolina. He's in the Hall of Fame. And his grandson must be pretty good. Old Mac is going to go to the Air Force Academy.
He is. That was the school that was high on his list, and he wants to serve our country and in the military, and I respect the heck out of that, man. And from a baseball standpoint, he feels like the Air Force fits him and he fits them. So I think it's a great fit all the way around. They got a great one. So, and even with Griff and Felix, those guys, and Drew too, Drew Greer, all of these guys have different attributes that are really going to, make a difference firsthand when they get there in the fall. And obviously Mac has another year, but each of them bring a different skill set to their future programs that I think are going to be huge for them going forward.
What does Mac do on the baseball field?
Mac is a pitcher. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's crafty. He's competitive, and he will get out there. He's got a little bulldog mentality to him now. He'll get out there and compete. And really across the board, man, I think all these guys, they really want to get after it and they want to compete. So that was one thing that I picked up right away is these guys, they're hungry for success. Obviously, the tradition-rich program that we have, these guys, they want to compete and they want to, chase championships. So we got high-level competitors and very talented ball players led by, the guys we just named. So
It's a good group. I talked to Coach Dale Lever from Chapin. What about taking this team to the Classic, the defending champions? So does it make your job any easier as a brand-new head coach? I mean, you got nowhere to go but down. You don't want to think about going down. Repeating would be nice. So how do you feel about taking this group back to Georgetown to play in this great tournament?
Man, I hadn't thought about going down until you said that. So, no, man. They say, what they say, pressure's a privilege, right? This is a program just from an individual at other schools that I've coached against, and I've seen from afar, and I've followed these players, man. And this, if there was ever any program that I wanted to be a part of and lead, it was this one. I love this place, and I love this area, and I love our team. But going down, knowing that they are the defending champions, obviously you want to go in there from a team standpoint and repeat, obviously, but then from a personal standpoint, first year head coach, like you kind of go in there with a little, I don't know that you say a chip on your shoulder per se, but you do. Like from a personal standpoint, I do feel like, got to prove yourself a little bit. Like, there's some successful coaches in this state and in this area and in this program. So you want to go out there and put a good showing in and hopefully compete at the highest level with the competition. And the chips will fall where they may, but you obviously do want to come back home with a trophy.
Sure. How about for you? I mean, your first game as the head coach at Chapin, and you're going to be going up against some of the elite coaches and players in our state. How do you accept that challenge in your mind? How much are you looking forward to that?
Jumping right into the fire, right?
Yeah.
Coach Hallett and AC Flora, they're our first game, and you know, he and I know each other. He's done a good bit for me in my career, and I've followed him. I've learned a lot from him. So if there's ever anyone to start this ride off with, I don't know that there's anybody better.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and you personally, your team will be tested, but your team is used to it. I mean, this will be like for you. This will be a personal test, right?
Absolutely. And you know, I think I have thought about that a good bit, just trying to prepare these guys and, you know, as a team standpoint. But then on the other side of that coin, you know, I go home at night and I'm still trying to learn and prepare and make sure that I've got all the I's, you know, dotted and the T's crossed in order to go down there and put on a good show. But, you know, like I've told our guys and other people in our community, like, there's going to be some growing pains. I'm not naive in that thought. So, you know, I feel like I'm in a good place. You know, I was fortunate to coach under Coach Hucks at Lexington for many years. So I lean on him and his coaching staff with Coach Barrett, you know, with Coach Barrett and Coach Lucas, who I was with there. And I learned so much from him. And I feel like they have prepared me for what I'm in now and what I'm about to step into. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good place and a pretty good spot personally and then as a team.
Have you ever had any experience as an assistant coach going down to the Classic in Georgetown?
I have never been to this one. I've played I've been in the Nature Cam, and I believe it's the Optera Invitational now, but I've played in that a good bit against some top-tier competition in other tournaments around the state. But I've never been to this one, but you know, obviously knowing the history and the brand the Classic is, I've followed it, you know, through social media and from afar. So, you know, knowing what we're going down to in a month to play in is very exciting. Well,
you're going to have a terrific team, and it's going to be a great opportunity for you as a new head coach and a chance for these guys to repeat. You're starting out the season ranked number 5 in 5A, so the expectations are very, very high. We thank you for the time. Best of luck to you. We'll see you down there, and good luck there and throughout the season.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate y'all having me, and go Eagles.
Thank you, Coach. That is Coach Dell Lever from Chapin High School, the defending champions. But he wasn't the coach last year, so he, like I said, nowhere to go but down. Hate to put it that way. I'm glad he handled it that way. There's always, of course, the chance to repeat, which would be kind of neat. Not too many teams repeat, I don't think, in that event. So we'll see how they handle that. Clemson's got to handle something they're not used to, and that is being behind at halftime as they trail, not just by a point, they're trailing by a pretty fair number. They're down by 7 up at Littlejohn, 40-33 to Virginia Tech. Justin is back with us during the halftime break with the Tigers, and after we left you last time, boy, Tech went on a bit of a run, bit of a spurt there to open up this 7-point lead.
Yes, they did, Phil. And it's kind of Virginia Tech would continue to do what we were discussing earlier in the last time I was on just a few minutes ago. They were able to screen some things open, including Hansberry. You mentioned him. He hits a 3 right at the halftime buzzer, wide open from the top of the arc to make it the 7-point advantage for the Hokies. But, you know, Mike Young's team, they do a good job rebounding, closing out, boxing out. And they're very fundamentally sound. And so, I mean, the Hokies right now, they've got all the momentum. They hit 4 of their last 5 shots to close out the half.
I got a glimpse at a tweet that was retweeted from Tim Beret, the former Clemson SID, and now I guess the historian. I don't know if he has accepted that label, but that's what people refer to him as. And basically, the teams that made that trip to San Francisco to California for the 2 games against Cal and Stanford, when they've come back home, like in their next games, the records are not good for those teams, like a little bit of a hangover from the trip. Are you noticing with this Clemson team any lack of get up and go, any lack of pizzazz?
I mean, it feels like they've had good energy when they're on the offensive end of the court, Phil, but it just is like getting back on defense and just finding a way to, I guess, clamp down has just been a little bit of a struggle. It's kind of been has the feel of a counterpunch, like a boxing match, like teams trying to feel each other out, and who's going to land that big punch to really gain the upper hand. And Clemson, they've got plenty of energy. They've been moving around really well with spacing and everything on the offensive end. It's just they cannot string together some stops and get what coaches call the kill, the 3 in a row, So if they can put a couple of those kills together, I like their chances, but they've got some work to do.
Yeah, just looking here, Clemson did trail Stanford at the half by 2, so that wasn't a big deal. They came back and won that game. They did trail NC State at home by 5 and did not come back to win that game. So there's been some games where they have trailed at halftime. Most of them they've obviously come back to win, but that NC State game in particular was one that they did not. Okay, Justin, thank you, man. We'll tell folks to continue to follow you on our X, SC Sports Now, and your post-game coverage on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. Appreciate it. Enjoy the second half.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much. Justin Mathis up at Clemson. By the way, Greenville News with a story. Clemson has turned in 7 violations that they reported to the NCAA in 2025. All were level 3 violations, meaning isolated or limited in nature, provided no more than a minimal recruiting, competitive, or other advantage, and provide no more than a minimal impermissible benefit. That's the least severe of the violations, the level 3. A football assistant was banned from communicating with a prospect for 2 weeks after he, quote, tweeted a verbal commitment post on X back in 2025. The Greenville News got these documents and put that out there. So 7 minor violations, I guess you could say, against the Tigers. And we update other scores as we head to the end of the road tonight. Sanford at halftime leading Wofford 47-34. Furman at the half leading Mercer 31-29. And its final, Western Carolina 87, the Citadel 49. At the half, Florida leads Georgia 43-27. That'll do it. Got a big one lined up for Thursday, Paul Maneri, South Carolina, and more. A lot of basketball as well tomorrow night. We'll see you then. Have a great one.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the